Hello and welcome. Welcome to Quilt Conversations Live. I'm Geraldine Wilkins, the Living Water Quilter. How is everyone? Happy New Year. Can you believe it? 2025, the year 2025. I can't believe it. Hello, Benita. Welcome. So glad that you're here. And Jackie, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Jacqueline. Ladies, I'm so glad you're here. Happy New Year to you. Hello, Marsha. Welcome, ladies. I am excited that we have a new year to refocus, a new year to pick up where we may have left off some UFOs, unfinished objects, some projects. Maybe last year you didn't get as much as you wanted accomplished. So we can look back to help us move forward. What are you thinking about for your quilting journey for the coming year? Let us know in the chat. Are you excited about the coming year? Are you thinking about those projects that you want to start, you haven't finished, but you are determined to finish? Is there a new technique, a new pattern, maybe a new skill or skill that you want to get better at that you didn't have time for last year in 2024? I had many goals last year, and I'm so excited that I completed many of them, but some of them I'm carrying over to 2025. It's okay to carry over goals into the next year, isn't it? Let's see. Bonita says, Happy New Year. Thank you. More and more and more, says Marcia. Yes, more and more and more. So last year, I had very specific goals, which I mentioned in the last time we were together on December 20th. And I talked about wanting to create more resources for you, more online classes. And a lot of you ladies are in the classes, and I'm excited. Some of you signed up for classes a few years ago. Some of you have started the classes, some of you have completed, and some of you have not started yet. Can I encourage you to put it on your list for 2025 to get started? To get started on those courses. So, Jacqueline says she has a stack of quilts to complete. Does that mean you've pieced them and they need to be quilted? Or both quilts that you want to make and meaning piece and then you want to quilt them? I'm curious, what stages are your projects in? Do you have big quilts, small projects? Jackie says she wants to learn to freehand quilt. I have a baby quilt I want to finish, and more than the ditch. You want to do more than the ditch. That's fantastic. More than the ditch. I'm so glad you are ready. Does that mean you're ready for free motion quilting? I hope so. Or do you want to do more walking foot stitching where it's not in the ditch? You want to try some other patterns besides in the ditch, but with your walking foot. These are all good goals. So Jacqueline has some projects in different stages. Some are blocks and some need to be quilted. I have some of those. I have a lot of UFOs. I confess. I confess. So I want to play a game. We haven't played a game in a while, and it's a game of sayings. You know, some sayings like, let's see, you miss 100% every single shot you don't take. That's a saying. Let's look at some sayings. Wait, before I do, Marsha says she has a crazy quilt jacket that she wants to do and how to quilt it. Ooh, that sounds interesting. You know what I'm going to say, Marsha? Test, 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 right? Test, test, test. So let's have a little bit of a Q&A time as well as a little game of sayings. This will eventually lead to a conversation about what you and I are going to do for quilting this year. Okay, let's get started. So, I want to know if you can finish the second half of these sayings. Let's try the first one, and you're going to write it in the comments. The first saying is a stitch in time. What's the second part of this saying? A stitch in time. Who knows? Who knows what that is? A stitch in time. Saves 9. Correct, Marcia. That is correct. Let's go with the next one. And keep record of how many you get right. Veronica Mays is here. Save 9. Yes. Sharon says save 9. Correct. Hello, ladies. Hello. Saves 9. What about the next one? Action speaks louder than. Action speaks louder than. Aha. Some of these should be really easy. You should know what these are. Action speaks louder than. We want to be women quilters of action, right? Words, correct. Jackie, Sharon, Veronica, Marsha, Bonita, words. Yes. Hello, Linda. Yes. So glad that you're here. What about the next one? Don't count your chickens. Don't count your chickens. Don't count them. Don't count your chickens. We want to be women of action, right? Women of action. Don't count your chickens. Bonita, correct. Before they hatch. Before they hatch. I like that. Unique. Yes, Marcia. Linda, Veronica, perfect. Perfect, ladies. All right. So those were easy, right? Let's try another one. Let's try another one. Are you ready? Let's say you're ready. You're ready, ready. Let's try another one. All right. When it rains, what happens? When it rains, these are sayings that a lot of us know. And we use them sometimes when we are setting goals, when we're trying to reach the end of a project. It pours. That's right. When it rains, it pours. That could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing, right? What about the next one? What goes around, what goes around. And I love this saying for a positive response for a community. When we are in a community of quilters, what goes around. Yes, I love you ladies using all the emojis for the responses. Veronica, I love that. The raindrops. Jacqueline, correct. Comes around. Let me see if this will work. And Marsha, you did that correct. Let me see if that's going to work. All right, that is, I'm going to put this down here. See if that works. All right, there we go. Comes around. Correct, Marita. Welcome. So glad that you're here. What comes around, what goes around comes around. Correct. And Veronica, correct. All right, one more. One more. A bird in the hand. A bird in the hand. Think about the UFOs, the WIPs, the courses that you're in that you already have in your hand that we can focus on. I know I have lots of them. UFOs, WIPs, courses that I still need to take. Oh, you've never heard of this one. A bird in a hand. Sharon got it. Is worth two in the bush. Jackie got it as well. Two in the bush. Yes. Instead of playing squirrel and starting another project, we can work with what we already have in our hands, right? Veronica got it too. It's worth two in the bush. Correct. Correct, ladies. You are good at this. I thought these were going to be a little challenging. I have another one for you. Better late than. Better late than. Sometimes we have projects and we think, oh, I'm doing this project for a quilt along. I'm doing this project for a contest. I'm doing this project for something that has a timeline, and we don't meet the deadline. And we think, well, I didn't meet the deadline, so I'm not going to finish it. Correct, Bonita. Better late than never. Correct, Charles, or Pat, I should say. Pat, I'm assuming it's Pat who's here. Correct, Jacqueline, then never. Yes, better late than never. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on projects. Sometimes when a project is overdue, still do it. If you miss the deadline, still complete the project, right? Still complete the project. Here's another one. Where there's smoke, where there's smoke, how does this relate to plans and quilting and projects and the things we want to accomplish? Sometimes when we are busy, we are churning things out. We are churning them out. We are accomplishing our goals. We are creating heat. We are creating heat. Yes, Pat, there's fire. Yes, Sharon, there's fire. Fire. We can create a momentum. And I look at that in relation to this. Where there's smoke, there's fire, meaning there's momentum for us. We don't want to create a fire, no, right? But we want to create momentum. What else? One more. Don't judge a book. Don't judge your first project in a new skill. Don't judge your first attempt at creating a quilt. Don't judge your first time participating in a quilt along or a quilting challenge. You got it, Marita. Don't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes when we are working with new patterns, new techniques, we're still learning how to do something, even learning our sewing machine. Don't let your first attempt, the first thing that you make, be the determining factor of who you are as a quilter. Even think back to your first quilt, way back, compared to your quilt that you have now. If someone said that based on your first quilt, that's who you would become as a quilter, that's an unfair assessment. So even today, no matter where you are in your quilting journey, you can take the next step forward. You don't have to remain where you are. All right, this is the last group. Are you ready for the last group? We have one more group. One more group. The early bird. The early bird. The early bird. Why is it important to be early? To be early. Why is it important? What's the other part of this saying? Ah, yes, Veronica. I love it. Sharing the books. Marita, yes. The early bird gets the worm. That means to me, when it comes to my goals and the things that I want to accomplish, I start early. I don't want to delay. Delay means it's likely that it's not going to happen. Sometimes I overload myself and I have too much and I can't get to something. But if there is something that you want to do, Marsha, you got it right, catches the worm. Jackie, correct, catches the worm. Don't delay. The early bird gets the worm. So, one more, actually, two more. These are the last two. Rome wasn't built. If you found 2024 challenging, you didn't reach the goals as a quilter, you didn't finish a certain project, you're not as far along as you thought you would be learning free motion quilting or ruler quilting, we aren't built in a day. Yes, Benita. Yes, Pat. We are not built in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. Free motion quilting takes time to develop. If you want to learn portrait quilting like Veronica Mays, I assume, Veronica, it took you time to learn how to become a portrait quilter, and you're probably still learning. We cannot become proficient at anything in a day. It takes time, days, weeks, months, yes, years, a lifetime, even. Sometimes we don't even know what we don't know until we start down the road to accomplish a particular skill or a technique, right? One more, ladies, one more. Veronica says yes, she's still learning and it's taken years, but she's an amazing portrait quilter. If you missed the interview that we had, Veronica and I had last fall, you're brand new to Quilt Conversations Live, go to the YouTube channel, look up the podcast on the channel, and watch the interview. You will be inspired. It's postcards and portraits. She's also an amazing artist when it comes to making postcards, right? So go check her out. One more. All right. You miss 100%. Now, I said this earlier. If you came late, you missed it. But if you were here earlier, I did say it. Right? You miss 100%. You miss 100%. It's a sports analogy if you haven't heard this before. Okay, I don't see any comments so far. Should I give the answer? You miss by not trying. Yes, Jacqueline. Yes. You miss 100% of the time if you never try. And the sports analogy is if you don't take the shot. You know, if you're a basketball player, if you don't shoot the ball, you'll never make the basket. You'll miss 100% of the time, right? If you don't try. Yes, correct. Correct. Mhm. Yes, the shots that you don't take. So, ladies, I've shared all of these sayings because I want to encourage you. Can I be your coach for a minute? Your machine quilting coach? Can you give me permission to be your machine quilting coach for a minute? All right, I'm going to put that off there and I'm going to ask your permission to be your coach for a minute. All right. So I need your permission. Jackie says go for it. All right. I'm going to move this up here because I want you ladies to be able to respond and we can talk about it. So we have lots of goals, right? We have lots of goals. Personal goals, goals for our family, goals for work. We have goals for quilting, crafting, sewing, right? That's a lot on our plate, right? How do you prioritize your goals? What do you do so that you reach your goals? Now, some goals, like I said, they happen over time. But what can accelerate us reaching our goals? Often it's by participating in a group, a class, getting help from someone. If I wanted to plant a garden in my backyard and I needed the soil to be tilled, I would get a machine that tills the soil. If I did it by hand myself, that would take me a long time. But I need to get the soil tilled by a certain time because the seeds need to be in the ground by a certain time because of the weather, right? Think about the goals that you have. If we do not give them a time frame, often those goals are not met. Let me ask, has anyone been able to finish a quilt because they had a deadline? A contest, a quilt show, a baby is coming, so you have a couple of months to finish the quilt. Did that help you finish the project because you had a deadline? A schedule. Yes. Hey, Terry, so glad that you're here. Yes, we need a schedule. We need to plan and create a schedule. We need to plan and create a schedule. And for those of you who joined the Quilt Conversations Live membership, you joined as a yearly member, you received these inspirational cards. Hopefully you started to print them out. It might be hard to see. Let me see. Let me try this first. I'm going to go back to this. Let's see. Can you see that? Is it too bright? Yeah, maybe that's better. That's better. A goal without a plan is just a wish. A goal without a plan is just a wish. So, do you have all these plans? A goal, I mean, do you have all these goals, but no plan on how to achieve them? Be honest with yourself. Do you have goals, but you don't have a plan? Think about the goals you had last year, 2 years ago. Did you make a plan to achieve those goals with a specific schedule? I want to hear from you. Be honest in the chat. Who's going to let me know? Now, it's okay. It's okay sometimes for us to pause and take a break. But we start with a purpose, with a schedule, with a plan. Jackie says, I overplan. What does that mean, Jackie? What does that mean that you overplan? Does that prevent you from moving forward because you're constantly planning? I saw this one sewer that a lot of people like. Her name is Mimi G, and she posted today that she plans everything. She has a monthly calendar, a weekly calendar, a daily calendar, and the daily calendar has tasks, specific tasks that she's going to do each day. But she also noted that if a task isn't done on a particular day, she doesn't get upset about it. She just moves it to the next day. All right, so Michelle, I like this. Let's take a look at Michelle says, my goal was to put labels. Let me get this down a little bit further. There we go. Labels on my grandmother's quilt. I only did 3. Now, I don't recommend that you say, I only did 3. You did 3. You accomplished part of your goal. That means this year you're going to do more. All right, so what else? Jacqueline says, my goal is to start a new quilt, so I have to finish the one that I am on. Fantastic. You also want a time frame. You want to start the new quilt, say, by March. That means the current quilt, you have to make a plan, right? To finish it by a certain date. That means you have so many weeks to get certain steps done that lead to the completion. So knowing that you have to finish something before you start another is a good way to plan. But also remember to plan the steps to help you to get there. Let's see. So Jackie says she puts too many things scheduled to finish around the same time. Okay, so when we know this about ourselves, make an adjustment in your plan. All plans are in pencil, right? That means we can erase them and adjust. So maybe that's part of your goal this year is to adjust your plans. Let's see. Marcia says, I have wanted to do this crazy quilt, I assume, for a long time ago. Well, you started the crazy quilt. Now you make a schedule of how you're going to get it finished and how you're going to get help to finish it. So let's talk about this part about getting help. Pat says, and I'm glad she's saying this because I think a lot of us have this challenge, is that we don't often plan. We have a lot of ideas and we can become disorganized. We have lots of projects in containers. We start one, we don't finish it, we put it aside, we start another one, and then all of a sudden we have all these projects. And I confess, I have that. I have lots of projects because other things have taken priority. And even this one container that I took a class a while ago, it's been sitting in that container for years. One of my goals this year, I'll share this with you, and you can keep me accountable. The next time we get together, you could ask me, Dina, how far have you gotten in your goal? One is to reorganize my studio. I want to organize my tools to see what I have and be able to find it and use it. That is another one of my goals. All right. So, when you think about what you want to accomplish this year, you want to create a plan. You want to create a plan. I want to share with you something that I've given to those of you that are in the Quilt Conversations Live membership. You receive some action cards. If you haven't printed out your action cards, I want to encourage you. I printed mine on cardstock. And there's about 50 cards. Each one has a small action to help you keep focused on your projects and to keep you organized. And you can go through the cards and figure out which ones apply to your specific projects and have one for once a day, once a week, whatever is going to help you to reach your goal. Let's see. Here's one that I really like, And I think this is the time of year that we do this. We look back. Take a look at this one. Let's see. Here it is. Look back to move forward. Admire your first quilt for inspiration. So, everyone, look back over the last 12 months. Put in the chat one project that you finished that you were inspired by, that inspires you, that's going to give you the push to move forward. Then I want you to think about another thing. But first, I want to know, is there a project that you did last year that you're so glad you finished? It's inspired you to keep going in a skill and learning how to do a certain technique, or it was a quilt that you wanted to finish to gift to someone else. I want to know in the chat. So looking back to move forward is important. And I've done that, and I'm still doing that. I'm looking back at over this past year for Living Water Quilter, what I've done on my business side, the resources that I've been creating for you, whether it's in-person classes or online classes, virtual classes. And I'm looking ahead to what else I can provide for you to help you reach your goal. But I'm also looking at my personal journey as a quilter. I have some quilts in mind that I want to make. Yay, Bonita says she wants to make her first t-shirt quilt. That's a good goal. So once you decide that, how do you get organized? Do you make a list? What tools do I need? Remember I talked about the garden, tilling the soil. What do you need to create a t-shirt quilt? What tools? How many t-shirts do you need? Do you need a pattern? Do you need to take an online class to help you get the t-shirt quilt done faster? Wonderful. Veronica is taking an inventory of all the quilts that she did in 2024. Taking an inventory. And was it Marsha who said that she was doing her grandmother's? No, it was Michelle. Michelle, her goal was to put labels on her grandmother's quilts. She's so far accomplished that with 3 quilts. That means she can create a plan to start putting labels on the rest of her quilts. What can help you, Michelle, accelerate that process? Is it, this is so small, let me enlarge this. Hold on, ladies. The comments are a little bit small. I want to see if I can make it bigger for you so you can read them. There we go. That's better. So sometimes what we need to help us get to our goal quicker is help. And help means a tool. Help means taking a class. Help means watching a video tutorial. Help means talking to a friend who's done it before, who can give you some tips. Help means watching a YouTube video. Help comes in many shapes and forms. Help could mean a tool. Help could mean that you need to help yourself by practicing more. Let's see. What else? An outline. Yes, I like that idea. Create an outline. Many of you may have saw my Black Friday sale where I had a planner, a machine quilting planner. If you didn't see that, at the end of 2024, I created 3 resources to help us plan our next year of machine quilting and quilting in general. One is a machine quilting planner. two are these action cards, and a journal. A journal to help record our quilting stories. How many of you want to write stories about your quilts? To journal them from beginning to end, to tell the story of your quilt. Those of you who join Quilt Conversations Live, the membership community, you received the cards and the journal if you became a yearly member. All three of those resources are available independent of the membership if you are interested. A planner, a journal, and action cards, all to help us. Hey, Lori, so glad that you're here. Happy New Year to you. So Jackie said she made a picture baby quilt and I gave my mom for baby's first Christmas. Wonderful. That sounds beautiful. I'm curious, if you made a picture baby quilt, that meant that there were steps involved. How did you organize that? You finished that. You talked about how you were not able to finish a lot of goals because you put too much on your plate, but you did finish that. How were you able to finish that so that you can apply those specific things to future projects? That's something to think about. What else? Let's see. Michelle, focus. I love it, Michelle. Focus. Yes, yes, yes. Focus is so important. I need to stay focused, she says, on one thing long enough to complete it. I got overwhelmed. When I identify how many quilts I need labels and how many tops need to be quilted. This is such a good point to bring up, Michelle. Because if I look back in the teaching I did last year, 2 quilt shows, a cruise, online classes, creating video tutorials, there's a lot that was on my plate. And I know we all juggle a lot: family, work, quilting, our health, everything that we juggle in this life. It can be a lot. It can be a lot. And staying focused can be a challenge. A challenge. How do we stay focused? Ladies, let us know. Let Marsha know. Let all of us know. How do you stay focused when you have so many things to do? Sometimes they say the best time is first thing in the morning. Are you a morning person? Is that your best time to stay focused? Some say take a clock, put a timer on, that you have to stay focused on one thing for 15 to 30 minutes. No other distractions. Focused time, no other distractions. 15 to 30 minutes. No social media, no email. Focused. How do you stay focused? To make her list, Veronica says that she goes through her photos. That's a great way to do it. Are you ladies taking photos of your quilts? So Veronica says, again, she's a night owl. So take an example from Veronica. She knows she's a night owl. She knows that she wants to review her previous year to help her decide where she's going for the next year. What did she accomplish? Same thing with anything that was left over, we can carry over to the next year. So don't be too hard on yourself. However, However, as your machine quilting coach, I know that many of you are in some of my online classes and you have yet to start the class. Get started. The weeks, the months, they go by quickly. Take time in your schedule, me time, and say, I'm going to give myself permission once a week to do one section in a course. One section. Remember how we talked about how we combine? I don't know if you're like me. I like to combine things and multitask. If I'm learning a technique and I need to make this quilt or this tote or some gift, or I need to learn some skill, learn how to use a machine, I stack. I stack multiple projects into one thing. Jackie got it all together. Veronica got it all together, says Jackie. Well, I think to some level, we all have it all together in some area. But in another area, we may not have it all together. It's that area that we want to improve, that we want to look at and say, how can I make this a part of my routine? And I fail at that too. I want to make more time for my personal projects. I make a lot of time for teaching. I make a lot of time for creating online courses and content. But I also know that when I take focused time on something, I have to sacrifice something else. We have a limited amount of time. How do we manage that limited amount of time? We can stack multiple things into one thing. Like, for instance, this week, here's a little bit behind the scenes. I'm teaching a online course, improv ruler quilting, right? And I know there's a lot of ladies who want to take the course. They've told me. They said, yes, I love it. I want to take it, right? I also know that I just released a new course, how to make a grab and go tote bag. That was the New Year's special. If you missed that, it was only $12. It's a full video course on how to make this fabulous, quick, easy tote bag. It's still available. It's just not $12 anymore. It was only for 2 days. However, I knew between those two, I wanted to get the tote bag course out because I wanted to bless and thank everyone for participating in Cool Conversations Live, for being on my email list, for taking my classes. And I wanted to start the New Year's off with something easy, right? So I spent a good amount of time to get that course out just before New Year's. And I had to sacrifice some other things in order to do that. I also want to let the ladies know, taking the improv class on January 11th, that guess what? Don't delay. This one lady contacted me and she says, I finally got my ruler kit. I'm like, fantastic. My essential ruler kit, which I knew had a straight edge ruler. So she said, what course do you recommend as a beginner? And perfect. The improv class was perfect for her because inside the ruler kit is the ruler that I'm using for the improv class. And the improv class includes how to set up your machine for ruler quilting. How to set it up for ruler quilting, tension, thread breaks. I give tips on all of that, machine speed, and that's all included. And that's a video course that the students taking the improv class, they're going to take that first and then join me live for a virtual class. So I say all this to say is that sometimes when I'm offering multiple resources, I don't have time to remind ladies that it's available. So I combined the two. I took the tote bag and the improv class, and I talked about how both of those work well together. So that meant I was able to respond to people who are ready for the tote bag and people who are ready for the improv. That's how I stack. That's an example of how I stack. So for you, if there is a quilt that you want to finish or a label that you need to make for a quilt and you want to learn how to hand embroider, that's on your list. Perfect. Hand embroider the label. Learn how to hand embroider while you are finishing something you want to do and accomplish, and that is a label. Maybe you want to learn how to print on fabric, and another quilt needs a label. You've been putting it off. Now it's time to learn how to print on fabric so that you can put that on the label you want to finish for a quilt. That's stacking. How many of you stack and put things together that way? Yes, we all have lots of room for growth, and that's what this conversation is about. It's about my growth, your growth, our growth as quilters. My mom said this years ago, time keeps going. It keeps going. The weeks, the days, the months, and I can continue to say I'll do this next time. I'll do this next year. And you all know the time just keeps going. So my mom says, stay busy, stay focused on what you want to accomplish. And how do you do that? You do it with a plan. One, you set a goal. Two, you make plans for your goal, how to achieve your goal. In the chat, give me one goal that you want to achieve this year. One goal. And it's not so that I can know it, it's for you to verbally announce it so that we as a community can hold you accountable. So we can ask, hey, how's it going with making the quilt labels for your grandmother's quilt? We can remind you. And for those who are making a t-shirt quilt, I think that's Bonita, we're going to ask you, hey, how's it going with the t-shirt quilt? Did you get all your t-shirts? This leads me to another thing about goals. When we do it alone, it is harder. Some of them we have to do the work ourselves, right? We do all the work. Yes, we can hire some people for certain things and we can get certain equipment. But when we are in community, a quilt group, online or in person, or we have quilting buddies that we talk to, we can encourage each other. And that's why I'm here with Quilt Conversations Live, right? I'm here to encourage you as your machine quilting coach to learn free motion quilting, to learn ruler quilting, to practice over and over again, and to test, test, test. So Lori says, I want to stay dedicated to my sew time and not let it get put aside because of other things. I love that. A dedicated sew time. We can set aside some time. Sometimes I will not answer an email. Like on the weekends, I try not to answer business emails because I need to set aside time where I'm not constantly doing email responses. Jacqueline says, I have so much scrap fabric that I need to put to good use. 2025 is all about scrap quilts. Fantastic. So, lady, take notes of our community, our friends, and the goals that they have. And remember, when you come back, ask them about it. Say, hey, how's it going with those scraps? Have you started your first scrap quilt? Linda says, I want to do a quilt as you go quilt. Fantastic. Quilt as you go. Fabulous technique. Now stack that with a quilt that you want to make for someone. If it's a baby quilt, a senior quilt you want to give to someone in the community, make a quilt that you want to make for someone and use the quilt as you go technique. That way you get two goals accomplished with one quilt. Learn to stack. Let's see. Michelle says, I'm going to work on those labels and I'm going to learn more about long arm quilting. Fantastic. Yes. Start thinking about what you need to learn more about long arm quilting. Do you need to watch a video? Do you need to learn more about the tools and techniques for long arm quilting? Terry says, I have a few quilts that I want to free motion quilt myself instead of sending to the long armor. And Terry, I know you can do it. I know you can do it. You are also in the free motion quilting class, the alphabet class. I want to see more submissions from you. I want to see you practicing your free motion quilting. The more we practice a technique, the more we are encouraged and the more we build our confidence. More free motion quilting practice. Terry, submit the assignments. There are a ton of new videos in there that I dropped last year, and that actually goes for everyone that's in the alphabet course. I want to see more assignments, more practice. Yes, Quilt As You Go is fantastic for free motion quilting. All right. Terry says, yes, she's going to do it. So, community, Quilt Conversations Live community, Terry just gave a thumbs up. She's going to practice. She's going to submit assignments. She's going to quilt more of her quilts instead of going to the long armor. Fantastic. Well, ladies, we are almost at the top of the hour, and I hope you have all been encouraged. In some way, in some fashion, you are going to not only have a goal, you're going to create a plan. Everyone that listed a goal below, on the replay, you can always come back to the comments, right? So if you missed some comments, come back next time. If you're brand new, welcome. We are a very open and caring community of quilters. We want to encourage one another to reach our specific goals. And I like to call it stitching lane. We all have our own stitching lane, the things we want to accomplish. But that doesn't mean we can't encourage one another, right? So it's okay to take a pause. Sometimes, life be lifing. Life does what it does, and we can't do all that we want, but we can take small steps forward to reach those goals. And I'm looking forward to many of you that are in the Quilt Conversations Live membership. I've posted a couple of things that I have some ideas about for us to do as a quilt along. So go in, look at that, and we are going to meet for our first meeting on January 18th in the Zoom. We're going to talk about what we're going to do in the membership as a quilt along and during our open sew or our free time, but basically just a way for us to encourage each other with our specific goals. And let's see, what else did I have for you that's news? Some of you are in the improv class. Today was the day for you to get access to the machine quilting setup for ruler quilting. It's so important when you take the virtual classes to do the pre-video lessons. That way, when you come to the virtual class, we can focus on the specific things that you want to learn. Your machine is all set up, so go through that. And those of you who are in the virtual class for the peaceful portrait and for spirals with a twist, these are at the end of the month. The last day to register for those classes is January 7th. So if you're not in those classes and you're interested, just go to my website, machinequilting.live, look under virtual events, and you'll see it. Spirals with a Twist. Let me go to that. Spirals with a Twist. It's learning about spiral designs and free motion quilting. I have a packet with 13, it's like 7 different designs, but 13 different sheets that I just mailed to everyone that's in the class. I mailed those today in anticipation of the snowstorm that's coming to the east. I wanted you to get that kit as soon as possible. So, Spirals with a Twist, if you want to register for that, it's January 7th is the last day to register. Registration closes. It's a virtual class. We're going to learn spirals, but we're also going to learn how to put it in a real quilt. Spirals are so fun, but I'm going to give you some amazing techniques to change up the spirals. So join me for that, and then we're going to learn how to put the pattern inside of a real quilt, and that's the Radiant Star Quilt. So if you're in that class, check your mail in the next couple of days. Those kits went out today. I mailed them today. And for the Peaceful Portrait, also a virtual class that is coming up soon. Those kits went out in the mail today. So get ready. Make sure you're ready for the class. We're going to have such a great time making some beautiful portraits, transferring designs to fabric, and then putting some beautiful decorative stitching on the back. So we're going to have a fun time with making this beautiful, peaceful portrait. In your packet, there's, I think, I put in like 8 different faces. So you're going to start off with something simple and easy to begin with to learn the different techniques that I will teach you. But then you're going to make several. My hope is that you will make a series of peaceful portraits, applying different techniques with thread, whether it's hand stitching, decorative machine stitching, and or free motion quilting. So again, if you've never heard about this, just go to my website, machinequilting.live, and you will find information about this class. This class also closes for registration on January 7th. Thanks, Lori, for putting up the website. Appreciate that. You can check that out. If you're on Facebook, just go to machinequilting.live, look for virtual events at the top tab. And then, of course, the improv class, which I can't wait. That's coming up next Saturday. It's next Saturday. It's not too late to register for this. All you need is a straight edge ruler. If you have a straight edge acrylic ruler and a ruler foot for your machine, join us. My virtual classes have no more than 10 students, which means you get a lot of personal time. And for the Living Water Quilter virtual classes, they're 4 hours, and you get to watch a replay for a full week. So you're going to learn structured improv, and then I'm going to teach you how to break the structure down so that you can create beautiful improv designs. Once you learn the techniques and learn the structures, all bets are off. That means creativity is infinite when it comes to improv ruler quilting. And I can't wait to teach you ladies next Saturday. So come for that. I show you how to create designs like this that look complicated, but it's not. Once I show you the structure of the improv quilting, you will have a blast. All right, so those are the virtual classes that are coming up for this month. I'm excited to provide these resources, and that is one of my goals for 2025. I started the launch last fall as a teaser to see how you would respond, and the response has been fantastic. So if you are interested in any of these virtual classes, but you can't make it this month, no worries. Just get on the email list for the specific class you're interested in. And when I have a new date, you can sign up. So just go again to machinequilting.live that you see here. Look for virtual events, but monthly virtual events. And I've added 3 more classes. Sign up, and then when the date opens up that you can join, I can't wait to see you in the class. So Jacqueline says she intends to join a quilt guild this year. Awesome. That's a good way to be encouraged and to share your work and to learn techniques and to have special guests that come in and share. Hey, Wilda, you made it. Yay. Wonderful. You are welcome, Veronica. I hope everyone was encouraged today that you can do whatever it is that you want to do in machine quilting. All you have to do is set a goal, then make a plan. And in your plan, you want it to be a smart plan. What is a smart plan? For those who have the machine quilting planner, again, you can get that resource on my website if you're interested. But in the machine quilting planner, we plan with something called SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable. What's the other one? You can look it up. I didn't invent it. It's not my idea. It's a well-known thing when it comes to planning. It's called a SMART goal. SMART. Um, Relatable, and I think it's time based. The important thing is that we want to give ourselves a deadline so that we finish. If it's an infinite deadline, things often do not get finished. What is the website again? The website is machinequilting.live. It will instantly redirect to the main website, and that's right here, machinequilting.live. And if you're on YouTube, Lori put in a link in the comments. You are welcome, Pooh. You're very welcome. Just popped into the feed, looking forward to returning. Yes, if you are brand new, we're so glad that you're here. Quilt Conversations Live is the first and third Friday of the month, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Put it on your new 2025 calendar. Make sure you put a reminder in if you need an alert to be reminded. I know some of you do. Also, if you're brand new, don't forget, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell. That will also send you a notification reminding you that we are going live. If you're interested in the membership, join us. Go back and watch the December 20th Quilt Conversations Live. I talked about how the website has a brand new community page. They completely gave an overhaul so we can have more engagement with each other. So if you're in any of the courses, I completely renamed the communities. There's a ruler quilting community, there's a free motion quilting community, there's a pattern community, and then there's the stitching laying community. So if you're in a ruler course on my website, you are in the ruler quilting community. If you are in a free motion quilting course, any free motion quilting course, you are automatically in this community, and it is private. So if you go to the website and you don't see community at the top to click on, that means that you haven't logged in. So you have to log in, and the only way you can log in is if you are taking a course. These private communities are for those who are in a Living Water Quilter course. If you are in a course or if you're in the membership, the community tab is at the very top. You just have to log in go in, go in today and say hello. Say hi. Post a photo of one of the quilts that you finished last year. I want to see what you accomplished last year. And so does everyone else. When we do that, we are encouraging one another. So go into the community, click on things, see what happens, learn how to post photos, learn how to post videos. Go in and check it out. It's Facebook like. They worked over a year and a half to revamp the community, and I want us to get the benefits of it. It's private, it's for us so that we can encourage each other to reach our goals. So go back and watch the video from last month. I talked all about it. I showed you all the different things on it. But go in, if you're in a course, go check it out. All right. So I can't wait to see you ladies who are in the membership. You can join. It's not too late to join the membership. It's limited to 30 ladies, no more than 30. I think small and intimate matters. Now, the course communities are bigger. There's more people in those. But in the membership, it's going to be just a core group of ladies that will meet once a month on Zoom and in the new Living Water Quilter Stitching Lane Society Facebook like. Facebook like. I say that because a lot of things that you can do on Facebook, you can do in this new community that you couldn't do before. All right. Let's see. Let me get the comments. Bits and Pieces says, thank you for letting me listen while you're sewing. You're welcome. So glad you're here. Her goal is to finish 3 quilts before June. Yes, time-based deadline. Love it. Time-based. Retreat. Oh, Wilder. Yes. Me and Tina are planning a retreat. Ladies, if you are a praying person, pray for us. We are struggling with getting a location. Getting a location has been a challenge. We've gone through several places. One, we thought we were about to close on it, but they gave away our meeting room. So now we are scrambling to find another place. Pray for that. We are working on the retreat. That's one of my goals, is to have a retreat, host a retreat with Dina and Tina, to host a retreat for everyone. I am in Virginia, Fredericksburg, Virginia. Yes, thank you, Lori. Let's see, did I miss anything else? Thank you, Terry. Smart, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Thank you. Smart goals. If you guys didn't get anything out of today, smart goals. Make a goal, make a plan, and make it smart. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Thank you, Terry. All right. You are welcome, Michelle. Happy New Year. All right. Yay. All right. I'm just going through the comments before I sign off. I know we're over a little bit. Did I forget anything else? I think that's it, ladies. I gave you the updates on the virtual classes, the new community. Go check it out. You're in a course. Go check it out. We have very specific communities now. Go check that out. Leave a comment. Upload a photo of one of your projects from 2024. Say hello to everyone. Meeting every 2 weeks can be challenging, but we need encouragement in between that. So I'm hoping the community aspect of the website will help with that. So that's my goal, is to help us stay connected through the community in between Quilt Conversations Live. All right, so I think I've gone through all of it. Okay. Yes. All right, ladies. Happy New Year. I'll see you. For those that are in the membership on the 18th, those who are taking the improv classes, I'll see you when I see you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay safe. See you soon.